Sunset Strip, bright lights and neon dreams, where stars come out to shine and to party. And the good times rolled for O.J. Simpson when he was riding high. Chauffeur Mark Burris once drove O.J. Simpson in rented limousines.
If you're a friend of O.J.'s, you know, he would come and share his cocaine with you.
Nicole Brown Simpson's cousin, Rolf Bauer, worked in Simpson's fast food franchise.
Oh, O.J.'s cocaine use, that's known now. He's been doing that for years. I've known it back in the 80s. I used to do drugs with him.
You did cocaine with O.J.?
I did cocaine with him, yeah.
Screenwriter Jim D'Alessandro once ran the hottest private club in Hollywood.
The champagne flowed and the cocaine flowed, and once in a while people would go in the parking lot and smoke marijuana and do some other things.
3 people who place O.J. Simpson in an L.A. party scene that featured movie stars, sports heroes, and cocaine. 3 others who declined to be interviewed on camera also tell CNN they saw Simpson use cocaine. Prosecution sources tell CNN drug use could become a factor in Simpson's murder trial. And friends and family say cocaine was a source of conflict in a turbulent marriage.
New information has surfaced about the evidence. CNN's Art Harris has this report.
A pair of bloody gloves, a centerpiece to the murder mystery of who killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
When I found the glove, my heart started pounding.
Investigators have been working hard to tie those gloves to O.J. Simpson. After police testified, they'd found a matching pair. One at the crime scene and the other Detective Mark Furman found at Simpson's estate. Sources close to the case say prosecutors now believe they can link both gloves directly to Simpson. CNN has learned Nicole Brown Simpson bought a pair of men's gloves as a gift. Gloves similar to the bloody gloves found the night of the murders. Sources say both pair were dark brown and cashmere lined. The brand Isotoner, and the size was O.J. Simpson's, extra large. Sources close to the case tell CNN an Isotoner sales rep has also identified Simpson as sporting the same brand of glove 7 months before the murders.
Art Harris joins us live now after his report. Art, how does the defense fight this sort of news, this revelation?
Well, Judy, one tactic might be to bring up how many gloves this company sells and suggest it could have been anybody's glove. We don't have exact figures on that particular type of glove, but an expert we talked to today indicated that Isotoner, the company, is the dominant player in the dress glove market, $200 million in sales a year, with men's gloves making up about a quarter of that. We're talking $50 million. That's probably more than 4 million pairs of men's gloves. So they'll probably use that. Just days before opening arguments, O.J. Simpson's lawyers are not just fighting the prosecution, but each other. Call it the case of Robert Shapiro against F. Lee Bailey, the legal legend Shapiro recruited for Simpson's so-called dream team. Shapiro's now accusing Bailey of, quote, sabotage, to play a bigger role in the case. Shapiro has demanded Bailey be fired over charges Bailey has been leaking to the press, charges Shapiro has been accused of as well. The 2 old friends aren't talking to each other, and CNN has learned Shapiro has not only removed Bailey's name from the firm, but actually barred Bailey investigators from Shapiro's office. They say he grabbed his ex-wife from behind and slit her throat, then turned on Goldman, who fought back hard. Simpson lost a glove, then cut his own finger. Footprints in the blood indicate the attacker moved between his victims. As their lives ebbed away, prosecutors are expected to argue, and kept slashing until both were dead. Then prosecutors believe Simpson, the lone killer, headed back to the alley and drove away. How are they so sure? Even though the defense suggests 2 sets of footprints, sources tell CNN prosecutors see only 1 set, Simpson's size, and a trail of his blood drops alongside them. CNN has learned the prosecution as well as the defense is interested in Simpson's Playboy fitness video, and that the outtakes have been scoured for possible incriminating statements by Simpson. But if his physical fitness becomes an issue, prosecutors are expected to argue that bad knees or not, O.J. Simpson did the crime, and they've got the evidence to prove it. Art Harris, CNN Los Angeles.
Can't tell if it's a man's or woman's glove. Size small. I guess it's Mr. Bailey's.
Glove size does indeed matter, because the glove at the crime scene and the one at Simpson's house are both extra large, Simpson's size. And CNN has learned prosecutors have a dramatic plan up their sleeve. They may try to order Simpson to put them on in front of the jury to see if they fit. Experts say that's legal because it's not forcing Simpson to testify. I watched from the third row as F. Lee Bailey and Mark Furman squared off. The jury seemed to hold its breath. Some jurors leaned forward as if watching a prize fight, staring, as if looking for any signs of racial bias.
Do you use the word nigger in describing people?
Presently?
Yeah.
Overruled.
No, sir.
Afterwards, I asked prosecutor Chris Darden how he thought Detective Furman had done. He said he was, quote, very pleased Furman kept his cool. He told me, quote, the only one who used the N-word in court was F. Lee Bailey.
There is a new development in the O.J. Simpson case. CNN has learned that the vehicle investigators believe Simpson drove the night of the double killings was later burglarized while it was in police custody. CNN's Art Harris has the story.
Last week was a bad one for O.J. Simpson and the high-priced lawyers defending him on double murder charges. But CNN has learned that bungled handling of Simpson's white Bronco, towed in for testing before his arrest, may help even the score for the defense. Sources close to the case say this official police garage is under investigation by the LAPD after one of its employees broke into Simpson's Bronco and looted it. The Bronco is crucial to the prosecution case. Investigators believe Simpson fled the crime scene in his Bronco the night his ex-wife and Ron Goldman were murdered. Trying to tie him to those killings, police are testing the white Bronco for the victim's blood.
Last night, O.J. Simpson weighed in on the Larry King program, and just a short while ago, our own Art Harris, who's been following closely the O.J. Simpson story, has been speaking with Marcia Clark. How disappointed is she, Art?
Well, Lou, she said, quote, I'm very disappointed but not surprised. What she said jurors are saying is that they looked for a reason to acquit, that there was, quote, no critical thinking going on. I mean, their questions, why didn't they see any blood on the leaves if the glove had blood on it? Give me a break. Those words, her words.
Furman.
Well, regarding Mark Furman, Lou, she said, quote, when we went to pick the jury, we knew about Mark Furman. The New Yorker article was out. If we didn't call him, the jury would have thought they'd seen the story, they knew he was out there, and we would have looked like a, quote, part of a giant conspiracy.
Now, the racial divisions we've been discussing most of the day here on CNN, there's even some divisions within the defense team on the issue of race. What does Marcia Clark, if anything, have to say about that?
Well, surprising to hear what she had to say, Lou, but she was very strong on that point. She said, quote, liberals don't want to admit it, but a majority black jury won't bring a conviction in a case like this. They won't bring justice. Her words.
Does she acknowledge any mistakes she may have made?
Well, looking back, Lou, she said, quote, everyone made mistakes, I made mistakes, but none that would justify a verdict like this. She called the verdict a, quote, true subversion of justice. Lou?
You did not videotape this interview?
No, I got her, Lou, I got her in the car, and she was with her kids, and they were getting out of the car at the house, and she was very happy to be with them, but it was off camera.
Is she going to take some time off now?
She's going to take some time. She may drop into the office tomorrow, but she was pretty philosophical about this, and you know, feels good about her work and the defense team efforts. I mean, the prosecution team efforts.
All right. Art Harris out there in Los Angeles, continuing to follow the O.J. Simpson story.
But 3 other defense team members confirmed that Shapiro did raise the issue of a plea bargain. They say it was only inside the team, and they don't know if Shapiro ever discussed it with the prosecution. Marcia Clark told CNN Thursday prosecutors never discussed a plea bargain among themselves or with the defense. Kardashian couldn't be reached about Bailey's charge that Shapiro included him as part of a plea bargain scenario. But Kardashian has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. At a defense team victory party, he said prosecutors had nothing on him.
If they had evidence against me, they should have filed charges against me as an accessory. I would never do anything like that. Never. I'm a successful businessman. I would never be an accessory to any crime, let alone a double murder. So I am very upset that they did what they did.
And if they had bothered to ask you what was in the bag?
I would have gladly told them what I knew.
Which is?
Which is, I don't know. I never opened it.
Shapiro didn't celebrate with the rest of the team, but in a broadcast interview, he blasted Johnny Cochran, accusing him of, quote, dealing the race card from the bottom of the deck, and for comparing Mark Furman to Adolf Hitler. Cochran said he and Shapiro are no longer a team.
It's unfortunate, but let me tell you, if you talk to every member of the team, we're of one accord with regard to Furman and any right-thinking lawyer who's a defense lawyer who's tried cases of the same accord. We care for Bob Shapiro very much, but he'll be better off on his own.
While Simpson's lawyers slugged it out among themselves, The verdict angered some people
You're the racist for letting O.J. Simpson go!
who accused Simpson's lawyers of helping a killer go free.
How you sleeping, son?
A bitter end to a long and bitter trial. And for F. Lee Bailey, an end to his long friendship with Robert Shapiro.
It doesn't make me feel very badly at this point because Bob hasn't behaved very well. He said some awful things to people.
As for his friendship with Bailey, Shapiro says that's over. Now Bailey, a legal legend some had counted down and out, leaves L.A. after the trial of the century. One more victory, one less friend. Art Harris, CNN Los Angeles. You were there and you made a toast and said that when America woke up, O.J. Simpson would be its most admired man. I wonder if you still believe that in the face of many people who believe that you as his lawyer helped him get away with murder.
Well, I'm hoping that America will wake up, and if it doesn't, it's going to be of some